For every swing, every moment, the Milwaukee Brewers fight. It's not just about hitting the ball, it's about leaving a legacy.
Hello, Brew Crew, and welcome back to the channel. Before we dive headfirst into what could be one of the most pivotal moments of our season, I need to ask you a favor. If you value deep dive analysis, straight to the point information, and news that actually matters to us, the fans of the Brewers, please hit that subscribe button below. Turn on notifications. On days like today, every minute counts, and I want to make sure you get the updates as soon as they break. This is where the true Brewers Nation gathers, and your support allows us to keep bringing you exclusive content. So do that now, and let's get down to it because the clock is ticking. The trade deadline is closing in like a 100-mile-per-hour fastball, and the pressure is squarely on the front office at Miller Park. I've been on the phone, trading texts with my sources, trying to get a feel for what our general manager Matt Arnold is planning. And the information that keeps bubbling up from multiple directions points toward Florida, specifically to Miami. Yes, it appears the Brewers and the Marlins are engaged in serious talks. And the name at the center of it all is right-handed reliever Anthony Bender. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Anthony Bender. He's not the superstar name many were hoping for, like a Mason Miller from Oakland or other big names that have been floated. But that is precisely why this move has Matt Arnold and the Brewers' philosophy written all over it. It's a smart, calculated, high-upside play focused not just on this year's World Series run, but on maintaining our window of contention. Let's break down the facts. We entered Wednesday with a spectacular 64-43 record. We are, by many metrics, the best team in baseball right now, especially considering our dominant performance since the end of May, boasting a 39-15 record. As our manager, Pat Murphy, said, "You can't win every night," but frankly, we've been coming pretty close. However, regular season success doesn't guarantee a World Series ring. The playoffs are a different animal, and baseball history is littered with dominant teams that were taken down by a single, exploited weakness. And if there's one area where the Brewers, despite their success, can and must improve, it's the bullpen. A collective ERA of 3.87 ranks us 14th in the MLB. That is the definition of middle of the pack. It's good, but good isn't good enough in October. Good is how you lose a playoff series by one run in the 8th inning. For a team with our aspirations, we need a bullpen that is a fortress, an elite unit that shortens the game and suffocates opponents from the 6th or 7th inning onward. This is where Anthony Bender enters the equation. At 30 years old, he is having a quietly brilliant season amidst the chaos of the Marlins organization. The raw numbers, as pointed out by Tremaine Person of Fansided, are excellent. A 1.83 ERA with 35 strikeouts in 45 games. But we need to go deeper. What do these numbers really tell us? They tell us that Bender has been extremely effective at preventing runs. His ability to induce ground balls and limit hard contact has been crucial. In a trade market that is saturated with rental relievers, guys who will be free agents at the end of the season, Bender stands out for one critical reason. And it's the reason Matt Arnold is so interested. He comes with 2 additional years of team control. This means he isn't just a fix for the next 2 months. He's a piece of our bullpen for 2026 and 2027. That is gold for an organization like ours, which operates with financial intelligence and long-term vision. Think about it. We are potentially acquiring a high-performance arm for 3 playoff runs for the price of 1. The Brewers' philosophy, especially under Arnold's leadership, has consistently been focused on identifying undervalued talent, particularly on the mound. We have one of the best, if not the best, pitching labs and development staffs in the sport. How many times have we seen the Brewers take a pitcher who was considered average or even troubled elsewhere and turn them into a star? Think about Corbin Burns, who evolved from a pitcher with a near 9.0 ERA into a Cy Young winner. Think about how we optimize relievers year after year. Bringing Bender into the system is a tantalizing prospect. He is already performing at an elite level with a sub 2.0 ERA. Now imagine what our coaching staff can do for him. They can optimize his pitch repertoire, tweak his positioning on the rubber, refine his mechanics. The potential for him to become not just a good reliever, but a dominant late-game weapon is immense. No one in the entire league would be surprised if Anthony Bender came to Milwaukee and suddenly added another tick or two to his fastball or developed an even more devastating slider. It's what we do, it's our trademark. This is the bet the front office is willing to make, a bet based on a proven track record of success. The question that naturally arises is the cost. What would it take to pry a pitcher with this performance? And more importantly, this team control away from the Marlins. It won't be cheap. The Marlins, under Peter Bendix's leadership, are in rebuilding mode and know exactly the value of the asset they hold. They aren't looking for MLB replacement level pieces, they want prospects. They will be asking for young talent that can become part of the core of their next competitive team. This means Matt Arnold will have to part with something of value from our farm system, which is consistently ranked as one of the best in baseball. Are we talking about one or two prospects from our top 20? Perhaps a high upside position player and a projectable pitching arm? It's a tough but necessary conversation. However, the strength of our farm system exists for moments exactly like this, to allow us to make strategic acquisitions that push us over the top without completely mortgaging the future. Arnold won't sell the farm, but he understands that to win a championship, you sometimes have to take a risk and trade away future potential for present certainty. Now, let's consider the immediate impact on our bullpen. Imagine Bender's arrival. He wouldn't just be another body, he would be a high leverage piece. He could slot into the 7th or 8th inning role, depending on the situation. This would allow Pat Murphy to deploy Joel Payamps and Trevor Megal in more strategic, matchup-based ways, rather than being forced into fixed roles due to a lack of reliable alternatives. More importantly, it would lighten the load on our elite closer, Devin Williams. Having one more trustworthy arm means Williams can be preserved for the most critical save situations, ensuring he is fresh and at the peak of his game when the most important games of the season are on the line in September and October. A deeper, more versatile bullpen is the most lethal weapon in the modern playoffs, and adding Bender would give us just that. We would go from a good bullpen to a bullpen that can be legitimately considered one of the top 5 in the league, a unit that can shut the door on any team. The beauty of this trade, and why I firmly believe it's being pursued so aggressively, is that it checks every box for the Brewers. It immediately improves us in an area of clear need. It fits perfectly within our philosophy of acquiring talent with team control. And it doesn't require us to give up our top 3 or 4 prospects, which would be necessary for a bigger name star. It is the definition of a smart, efficient, high-impact play. The kind of move that has characterized the best Brewers teams of recent seasons. While other teams might be chasing the shiniest names and paying an exorbitant price for 2-month rentals, the Brewers are once again playing chess while others play checkers, seeking a value that not only helps us down the stretch in 2025, but solidifies our position as a perennial threat in the National League. So, the main news of the day, with the clock ticking down, is this. The focus of the Brewers front office is on Miami, and the name is Anthony Bender. It's a move that makes all the strategic, financial, and baseball sense in the world for our organization. It represents an adherence to the philosophy that got us here, while aggressively addressing an area that could hold us back from our ultimate goal. Tremaine Person's prediction that a deal will get done before the deadline feels more and more likely with each passing minute. Matt Arnold is on the phone right now, and I believe he is going to get it done. And this is where I want to hear from you, the Brew Crew. What are your thoughts on this potential trade? Is Anthony Bender the missing piece to our bullpen puzzle? Or do you think the front office should be aiming higher, perhaps risking more for a proven elite name? What is your confidence level in Matt Arnold to close the right deal at the deadline? Leave your thoughts, your analysis, and your passion in the comments section below. I read every single one, and the debate among us is what makes this community so special. Don't forget, the deadline is just hours away. Things are going to happen fast. To make sure you don't miss any breaking updates or the full analysis of any trade that goes down, be sure you are subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on. I will be live as soon as any news becomes official. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, and as always, go Brewers!